So in this activity, what we have is we have two reservoirs of water, and we're going to mix them together to hopefully get a desired temperature. And what we want to be able to do is utilize Excel as a tool that's going to help us sort of expedite the calculations process. And so we built this in such a way, so I've gone through and I filled in all the cells as white to give it a clean look, and then I built in sort of my known values up here. So I've got a fluid can have a mass, a temperature, and a specific heat. In this situation, our fluid one is 50, 24, and 4.2, which is water. We're going to mix with a second fluid, which has a mass of 90, 85, and 4.2, so we're mixing two vats of water together. We have our desired temperature here, which is 70 in Celsius, and so what we're wondering is two things. If we're trying to make it to where when these two mix together that we get 70 degrees, do we want to increase the temperature of fluid 2 to make that easier for us? Or do we want to sit there and just put in more of fluid 2 into the process? And so that way we get the desired temperature, because the temperature is really what we care about as our outcome. And so down here, what we've done is we've built a little calculator to allow us to make this decision faster. And so I've gone into Excel and I've set it to where I steal the value from fluid 2 just by setting it to equal. So my equals this amount goes right there. And then I've set up a scale, and that scale determines to what level I jump up a division here. And so I've got my 85, and then I'm adding 10 to it. And you'll notice that that cell is money, and so there's dollar bill signs there because we want it to lock in. So if I go up one more and I click on it, you'll notice that I'm still referencing that cell. And so it makes it a little bit easier for us to work with. And so we have that going this way, and then we have it, of course, going the other direction too. By doing the fixed cell, we can actually fill that up and down in different directions. We then are going to go through and fill in our calculation here, which is not a very complex calculation at all. Like, it's just our mass times our temperature times our specific heat, plus our mass times our specific temperature times our heat equals our mass times specific heat times temperature. And so it's an easy calculation, but it's something that's a labor to do. And so, but once we have this built, right, we're going to be able to not have to do that calculation again any time. And so I've got just typed in right here. But when I move up here, and we can see which sides are referenced, so all of those, right? And when I move up one, what I'm doing is I'm stealing my temperature from over there. And you'll notice that I've fixed all the other cells as far as the top, with the exception of the temperature, because I'm getting it from right here. So you'll notice that that is actually not fixed right here with CAT. And that way it's allowing me to fill upward that way, and then I can turn around and fill downward doing the exact same process. That's going to allow it to be very easy for me. So if I wanted to sit there and say, I'm going to hit 70 degrees by changing it, like let's look at increments of 7, right? Maybe I want a better resolution there. So we're seeing, that's what 92 degrees is. That's what 99 degrees is. Let's see if we can get a little further down. Let's go 5, right? And so I can work with that and sort of make a more intelligent decision about how that goes. The one thing that I'm doing that you might not have experienced before is I've sort of grayed out all the cells where my calculations are, and that way I know not to mess with those. But I also have this conditional formatting here. So I've gone in there and I've highlighted this row, and I made it say, whenever we have a value that is above my desired temperature of 70, to set that to red. And so I'm able to sort of read the value a little bit faster with how it goes. Over here on my second cell, it's pretty much the same process, except instead of pulling out my temperature, I'm pulling out my mass. And so you'll notice that that one is the one that is not locked anymore. So G17 right there. And so when I fill up, it's able to work. So that's pretty much the same process there, but we do need to figure out what is the new mass. And so I'm going to go into that, select on it, and see that I've got this value plus the previous value that I'm working with. You'll notice that that one is locked because it is right there. And so we can then be able to utilize this tool and make a decision. And so I'm going to be able to see, all right, well, if I need this to be at 72 degrees, I'm going to need something that's between 95 and 100 as far as my temperature, if I want to just raise the temperature, or I can just increase the volume that I have quite substantially between 165 and 150. And I can dial into that and get higher resolution if I want to, but this is going to lead me in the right path as I move forward.